1, 2, 3. Welcome to Press Start, everybody. Nintendo announced some stuff, and we're here to talk about it. I'm here with Luke and
Yes.
Cammy.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome.
I guess we'll talk about it now.
Jacob's a little distraught.
Chocobo Racing was
the way he wanted to.
Thank God. This announcement, as far as Nintendo Directs go, it was a lot of stuff no one cares about, and then the stuff people did care about isn't coming for a very long time. It's confusing. It's not good, mind you, except for one aspect of it, but we'll go in order somewhat. We'll start with Nintendo stuff. Moving to some other topics. There'll be timestamps again. I don't want to brag, but I did actually put timestamps for the last video. So, you know, I'm the best.
How do you?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyways, cool. We got some fun Nintendo stuff to talk about. We're all back together again, just in time for Halloween. And boy, is this scary for Nintendo's fiscal year.
We still have a month before Halloween.
We have a month before the day of Halloween, but October is the spooky month.
It is. I'm actually really excited for Halloween this year. I'm gonna force myself to okay, don't beat me up. I don't know actually if this is a thing in the UK.
Jerking off in the jack-o'-lanterns?
Is that a thing?
That's a thing.
Okay. Yeah, so I've never carved a pumpkin that's my creation. I gutted a bunch of pumpkins so my little sisters could carve into them, but I've never carved a pumpkin, so I'm gonna do that. I want to make candied apples, so we'll do that.
Are you gonna dress Lachlan up?
What?
Are you gonna dress Lachlan up?
Yes, we have a couple. One of the things we can do is they have these outfits that are really cheap, but it makes them look like from the shoulders down, it's a Starbucks cup, and then from the head up is the lid with the little green stopper, and then you can use a Sharpie to write on it what kind of drink. So he'd be his pumpkin spice latte. I like the idea of doing that, or we might just turn him into a pumpkin. That's easy to do. We also like the idea of doing Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and Jack because he growls a lot. So we've got ideas. We're floating them around. So I think we'll land on something good. But we're just gonna try to do all that. Honestly, it's probably the thing I'm most excited about being a parent, beyond forming a life and all of that, is having an excuse to go do those fun things, like going to the zoo or going to the pumpkin patch. You have to do it. Or like Christmas, you got to go look at all the lights. You have to all that little stuff that when you're single or when you're just a couple, you can kind of be I'm not feeling it this year. I'm good. The baby needs to go to the pumpkin patch. Sure, he's never going to remember it, but he needs to go.
Well,
we need the pictures.
You say that, Luke, but if I remember correctly, didn't you get engaged in a pumpkin patch?
Yes, we
just
did.
On your own time. Don't act like, oh, I have a kid now. That's why I got it. You love pumpkin patches.
Listen, Nikki almost. This is beside the point. Then we'll get into the gaming stuff. But Nikki basically self-sabotaged her own engagement 3 or 4 times. I had this whole thing planned out where we were gonna, because we love fall. It's okay, we'll do something fall because we don't do it very often, so it'll be special. We'll carve pumpkins, and then when she's carving, she'll go to this next one, and then she'll lift the lid off, and it's filled with flower petals, and then there's a ring in there. It'll be cute. She's like, no, I hate carving pumpkins. I don't want to do that. So I'm God damn it. I just wasted so many flowers. And then we were going to go to a different pumpkin patch that has a huge corn maze. We were going to get lost in the corn maze and find the ring in the maze. I was going to have their help, the company that ran the corn maze, help us with it. It was going to be awesome. We get there, and this one wasn't her fault, but it was so cold and windy out that they had this huge stack of hay bales, 20 feet tall. Sorry, Cammy, 5 to 8 meters tall.
8 of your people tall, I would say.
Yeah. 8 people, 20 feet tall. And then there was a little kid that climbed on top of the hay bale, like in the big snowsuit and everything, because it was so cold. And a
They fall
huge
down.
gust of wind came that was flinging rocks, and you just see the kid go, "Whoop," and he just goes flying off the back, and we lose sight of him. So like, okay, so maybe this isn't a good idea to do this today. So there were a lot of occasions like that where we were gonna do something, it was gonna happen, and then she would be like, I don't want to carve pumpkins. No, it's too cold outside. I don't want to go out into the pumpkin patch. So like, even on the day that we did the engagement, I had this pumpkin that was carved out, stashed on the bed of a truck, and then she was gonna go over there. We're gonna look at the pumpkins, and then one of them it flips around and it says, "Will you marry me?" Question mark. Then inside you pop it off, and the ring is in there on a bed of flowers. It was really cute. But Nikki, I'm like, "Hey Nikki, let's go over there and look at that old truck. Maybe get a photo together." She's like, "No, I'm cold. I'm going to get a tea." So she like stormed off to the little concession stand, and I've got her sister helping, and her sister,
Oh
there's
my
like a big
god.
wagon in the middle of the area that people like take pictures on as well, and her sister is spinning around the wagon trying to avoid Nikki's gaze so she doesn't get spotted. So as they're moving, she's circling around, and then while she's doing that, a teenage girl goes up to the truck and finds the pumpkin with the ring in it, pops it open, and sees the ring. And it's like, oh my God. And then the other guy I had helping, Nikki's sister's boyfriend, screams, "Put it down!" And then she puts
Jesus
it down.
Christ.
It almost fell apart like 50 times. That's all kind of beside the point. The point is, we don't actually do this stuff very often, which is why it was remarkable. But yeah, it was fun. Anyway, video games, Nintendo, all that stuff.
How do we even come back after that? You just like casually drop like, yeah, he's this kid. He was on
Think
top
about
of the
it.
hay bales. He got blown away and he never was seen again. So we're
I
like,
don't
we'll
know if
wrap it
he's
up.
okay.
He's probably
I
dead.
really
Like he's almost guaranteed to be dead. Isn't he 20
like
feet?
that hay bale was so tall and he fell so far.
It's probably like that horrible, what's that movie, Final Destination? It's one of those. They're
Mhm.
like, one of them gets like sand in their eyes while doing gymnastics and she like falls down and just like gets this Final Destination. She just like, every bone in her body breaks and she just like explodes onto the mat. It'd be
I
like
haven't
that.
seen this.
Put that clip
Did you
up.
not like?
Final
Oh god.
Destination 5, I think, gymnastics scene.
Did
And
you not like get to the point where you were like, I just can't be bothered with this anymore. We're not going to make it special. I'll just lob the ring at her one night, like, there you go, we're engaged, and then like
drop it in
just
her
sit down.
drop it in her
Yeah,
boiling
just,
hot tea that she gets so that she goes in and her fingers come
yeah.
out and they're just all bones.
We
Just
were, I mean, we were getting close because she just like time and time again. It's like, woman, it's like you don't want to be engaged. I swear to God. And she kept like, before that, by the time we got engaged, she had kind of given up on um
gonna
like
fund
trying
you.
to spot when it was going to happen. Because before that, every time she thought it was going to happen, she would start like questioning incessantly, and then she'd call her sisters and see if they knew anything, talk to her mom about it. Then she'd cry that nothing had happened, and it was just like, it was difficult, but we got it figured out, and then once it happened, it was fine. um
What you should have
so
done. You should have had a Mario Kart competition. Let her win and then give her the ring as a prize. Because you know what? There's a reason I said Mario Kart, and that's because no one fucking plays Chocobo GP.
That's right.
Did I do the segue? Did I do it?
That was
You
a good
did it.
segue.
Yay!
Yeah, no one's gonna play. You say Chocobo, I say Chocobo, but they both sound
I
equally
might be
dirty.
wrong.
It
Chocobo,
doesn't.
I say
Chocobo.
choke on my elbow.
Hey, oboe means penis. Anyways,
This will be the common thread throughout all of this discussion surrounding Nintendo. They did a lot of stuff where every like 4 people were like, "That's awesome," and then everyone else was like, "What?" That's the entire event. So let's start going through this. While we're going through it, I have that clip of the gymnastics scene going, Jacob.
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
waiting for it.
oh, good. Yeah. So like that gymnastics scene from Final Destination. This is also a strange decision and a strange choice. But instead of by the creators, it doesn't fucking matter. The segue, Chocobo GP. Just saying that is just like, oh,
Why?
okay, great. It's like the DreamWorks Stars Racers game from back on like the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
It's a kart racer. That's it. Maybe it'll be the best game of all time, but I can tell you this right
Won't
now,
be.
I don't give a shit.
I just want a new Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants.
We haven't had a true new Mario Kart since 2014, and they give us
Yeah.
We asked for Coca-Cola, Nintendo, and you gave us RC Cola. We do not want RC Cola. God, did you see what
I think
happened last
Luke's got
time
to the
Square
bit.
Enix tried to do
I think Luke's
something?
got to the bit. He
Did
looks
Luke get to it?
disturbed.
That was messed up. It was the finger twitching after she's flopped on the floor. Her fingers twitch.
Yeah, she
That's
literally
what...
like turns into like a puddle on the ground. She just like folds in like a lawn chair. And I remember seeing that and I was just like, what the? There's no way. There's no way that happens.
I
It's
need to see it now.
Everyone watch that clip from
Um,
Final Destination 5 to put you in the Halloween spirit. It does have some gore, but it's like borderline goofy, I would say, just with how over the top it is. And speaking of over the top, coming over the top of the area of which games come from, Knights of the Old Republic is coming on November 11th.
Coming over the top of where games come from.
November
Wow,
11th.
I appreciate the effort. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna bother with this. Like, it's an ancient game, but the people that love it really love it.
Yeah.
I like weird old games. Like, if they announced Stronghold Crusader was coming to Switch, I would be losing my mind
Oh,
out of
I jump on it
excitement.
too. Yeah.
Even though like 99% of people, I'm sure, are like, what game? So granted, I probably in the minority, or at least I'm not the target audience for this, but I know like Maddie started actually like jumping out of his seat, like when I'm not gonna say that, he was very excited. But
Was he actually jumping out of his seat though?
He was like his hands. He didn't know what to do with his hands.
Like
So it looks
freaking
he's
out, like-
casting spells.
Oh.
Like he's, oh my god, dude! I told you they were gonna do that. Like he was. so
Maddie
excited. It
is
was
secretly a wizard, we've heard. Well, good for you, Maddie. And
See what
Maddie,
I'm
the
doing.
invitation is open. Come on down. We'll have
Yeah.
a good time. And speaking of a good time, hey man, Dying Light 2 Stay Human Cloud version. I didn't know there was. That's actually, is that the subtext? Not the subtext, the subtitle to that game? Stay Human?
Yeah.
What a. These fucking studios. Dying Light 2 is a fine name. I'm just going to call it that. Stay Human.
But how do you know what you're supposed to do in the game, Jake?
Ah, that's right. That's
You don't
right.
know.
I had no idea. Well, it's cloud version, I guess, is kind of neat. You know, for those that want it, that desperately want to play it on Switch. It's more of a PC thing.
I mean, the big thing with this, I don't know if it's been confirmed. I was trying to see on Twitter if anybody had confirmed it or said anything, but I haven't seen anything as of the time of this recording. The only way I see that this is useful, a cloud version that you can take on Switch, is if there are cloud saves enabled natively in the game, so that you can play, like, get home and play on your Xbox, or get home and continue playing on your PC. Because as far as I can tell, like, the Switch is a great supplemental device for a game like this, not a great, like, end all be all device where you play through the whole game. It's the same reason, like, I loved being able to play on like the Series S Valhalla in the bedroom and then go into the office and continue right where I left off on the PC. Like, that supplemental relationship was phenomenal. With Dying Light 2, I could see the appeal of like sitting on the couch, playing through it, still making progress on your Switch, even though it's cloud version, it's not great, and then going and actually playing it for a longer period of time on your PC. So if they can get cloud saves working, I'm all in. If not, I don't know why you would spend presumably $60 to play a worse version. You know,
because Nintendo. And hey, speaking
Nintendo.
because Nintendo doesn't release any games people want to play unless they find games people wanted to play 20 years ago, like with Castlevania Advance Collection, which is, you know, the Game Boy, which I didn't do this a few days ago, but I knew someone that set up a Game Boy Advance emulator on their computer the other day and has been playing Pokemon Fire Red for the last 5 or 6 days or so.
Of course, you just know this person.
I just know this person. I would never do this. And I heard that this person is having a fucking amazing time and is probably going to save a lot of money by not having to buy the Castlevania Advance Collection, because the emulator this person set up only took 2 minutes. Like, it was shocking. They said it was really easy. So it's great for people that want to play it, I guess, on the go. But if you're really into these games, you might already still have them from the Game Boy Advance days.
The name of the game with this stuff is like convenience. So I think I just looked it up. The Advanced Collection will be $20.
Yeah.
It's a lot for a game or for a collection.
For 4 games.
Very, very old.
Yeah.
But for people that played those games that love them, I mean, like we just said with like me and Stronghold Crusader, are they great games? No, but I grew up on them, so I have nostalgia for them and I love them. So if they announced that was coming on Switch, yes, I could just play it on PC, or if I could pay $20 to get it on Switch and have that convenience, I would do that. Now, like, things will change with this, and I think the argument that just set up an emulator is a lot more valid when something like
Which you
the
shouldn't
Steam Deck,
do.
No, nobody should ever do that. I wouldn't dare suggest that. I don't want our audience going to hell. I mean, come on. But when the Steam Deck comes out, apparently the Steam Deck will support these emulators. And so, you know, morally bankrupt people could just set up an emulator on their Steam Deck and then take these games on the go. And like, I've heard of somebody that set up an emulator to play Animal Crossing City Folk on his PC because the one that the new one, New Horizons, was really underwhelming. And this person who did this had a great time and really wished that he could take that emulated experience on the go. Now, of course, he's morally bankrupt because he used an emulator, but I understand the desire to take it on the go, you know? So we'll see.
I just watched that Final Destination thing. I don't think it would work like that.
I don't think so
No,
either.
that's
but
not how people
watch
bend.
that clip,
No.
everybody. Watch that clip from Final Destination 5, the gymnastics scene. And keep in mind, if you use emulators, that's what happens to you.
Also,
Nintendo's coming.
Nintendo fucking uses, I think it's chalk or whatever.
I used to do gymnastics, and I used to be terrified of the bar. And now I feel justified.
Of your bones shooting out of your body, like in Final Destination.
Now I feel justified.
What a fucking goofy
I used to
series
not
of
really
movies.
not want to do it, and now I feel like, yeah, I was justified in that.
Are you scared you're gonna break your shin? Wait a minute, Shin Megami Tensei 5. I'm just kidding. No one gives a shit about that game. No one cares.
The one I do want to mention, so they announced they're bringing Wreckfest this fall to the Switch. Wreckfest, like on PC, doesn't run very well, is pretty sluggish, and is very intensive. As far as I know, this is not a cloud version of the game. They're trying to bring this natively to Switch. I honestly would love to see how that thing performs. My guess is they either crank down the graphics to like 360p, or it's just going to run at like 12 frames a second whenever stuff starts to get crazy. So we'll see what that's like.
A good wait and see one. Another good wait and see one too that I want to bring up is Mario Party Superstars. 5 N64 boards coming on October 29th, just in time for Halloween. I don't know what the boards are, but from my memory, the N64 boards are the best. Ooh. Let's see what those boards are real quick, because I know them by heart.
Yeah, they did name them, so I can find out for you.
There's some awesome boards, specifically from Mario Party 2. My camera's over here at 2. I'm never going to get used to this. I'm used to having it front and center, but now if I go front and center, my hand disappears.
Now you're on the side.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That's what he do. Then it goes do 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 like that. So we'll see what those N64 boards are. But it's more boards. That's great. My biggest problem with that new Super Mario Party game is that it's terrible. It's got fun mini games, but as a board game, it just kind of blows. But hey, we could segue into some more N64 stuff. But you know what? We'll build up to that.
They've announced Woody Woods,
Okay.
Yoshi's Tropical Island,
Okay.
and Horrorland.
Horrorland, I think, is from Mario Party 2.
Ooh.
If that's the one from Mario Party 2, I really like that board. I also like Spaceland.
Whoopee.
So bring me Spaceland or whatever. But yeah, we'll see about that. Maybe that'll it gives you some
Spaceland
more depth.
and Peach's birthday cake. Yeah, Spaceland and Peach's birthday cake. Are the
There
other
you
two.
go. See, Spaceland's a great map.
There you
That's
go,
a
there you
great
go.
one. Horrorland's also good fun. Those are both from Mario Party 2, if I remember right. Good additions, from what I can tell. We'll have to give those a try. But someone has to put their cards on the table right now
Very good.
and talk
Yeah.
about Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars. Because, whoop, right over my head. No idea what this one is. I don't remember it.
It was. You might have to look on the trailer because I don't know if I'll be able to describe this properly. It's like an RPG, but it's all completely like card-based tabletop. Like everything is almost like Gwent style. Everything is on a card. So it just looks like you're playing on a tabletop. Which at first I was like, I'm not sure how that's going to work. But it's by Yoko Taro, who made the Nier series. And I like that guy.
Hey,
So-
I like Yuji Naka, and he did Balan's Wonderland or whatever, so you never know.
I'm not saying it's a guarantee.
You never know. I just had to bring up.
I'm
I
just
just learned that
saying.
the other day. I didn't know Yuji Naka made that game. He's the guy that made Sonic. And
Because
he did
no idea
Balan's
what we're talking
Wonderland.
about because he hates
Balan's
Japanese
Wonderland was a
people.
ripoff Square Enix did of Mario Odyssey, basically. Just watch 5 minutes of gameplay anywhere and immediately just be like, oh my god. It's like shockingly horrible. It's embarrassing. And it was made by the same guy that led the wave against Nintendo in the 90s with his great game design. What a moron. Just kidding. Still love Yuji Naka. But you never know. That's the whole point.
What a moron.
What a moron. Jesus
moron.
Christ. It's like shockingly bad. I'm sure everyone's probably talked about it to death at this point. They're going to have to... We're going to have to cut talking about that one anymore. Wait a minute.
Finally.
Is this getting annoying? Are we going to get comments soon where they're
No,
like...
no,
if you
no,
go
no.
through... Like someone like leaves a book in the comment section where they're like, you're doing an hour-long video with 30 games, and every single time one of you says, wait a minute, just like that. It's ear-grating. But it's good for setting timestamps. So fuck
Oh, that's
you.
the point. I said I was going to wave my hands every time for you.
It's fine. I did the wait a minute thing
Okay.
last time, and it actually helped a lot. But Disco Elysium, the final cut, Switch October 12, and a physical copy in 2022. I guess they couldn't get that done beforehand. Nintendo's weird about shit. But that's pretty cool. That's probably the place where I'll give Disco Elysium a try for the first time, is on the Switch.
Really good. It's really good. And I would guess the physical release is more so they can judge interest and success before printing everything and getting it put out. So they don't overproduce it, but it'll plus I'm sure their margins are also much larger on digital. So by putting it out digital first, everyone who's a fan or wants it is going to buy it there, and then the physical copy, they'll buy it a second time. So it's just double dipping. It's pretty smart, actually. But
Not too
the game is really, really good. Really good.
Well, there you go. And a new
Interested.
place to play it, everybody. But it does take a good long time, so maybe you should brew yourself a drink of some kind. Wait a minute! Brewster, we've become self-aware. Brewster's coming to
Wait a
Animal
minute.
Crossing.
Wait a minute.
Brewster is my favorite goddamn character. He makes
Fucking
coffee.
finally.
He
I'm
has a
so
big smile
happy.
on his beaked face. That's not true. In fact, I don't think he ever smiles, or at least not
No,
through
but
my
he's
playthroughs of City
A
Folk.
sweetheart.
He's a lovable rogue, that one.
Mm.
Now, if only anyone was actually playing that game. Maybe I'll jump back into it here in a couple of days. But
I was gonna say I've not picked up in ages, and Nintendo Direct happened, and I was like, I should probably pick up Animal Crossing again. And all my villagers
should.
were like, "Where have you been?
I come
I
out with
missed
yeah.
you. I was like, I'm sorry.
So that's at least a nice addition, something people were waiting for.
It is. Yes.
Game definitely needs a good bit more depth, I would say. It needs some stuff to pull us back in. Maybe a city you can go to. Maybe a couple, like, maybe not. I like the randomized island thing. Maybe go to a city every day. There's new stuff. I don't know. I don't know. But you know what? That's you go to the city, you might get caught up with a pyramid scheme from that no good Red the Fox. And you know, pyramids are also known as triangles, and that's a good business strategy if you're a low-browed idiot. Wait a minute. Pyramid triangle. Pyramid triangle business strategy. Triangle strategy. Just ignore the other ones.
Wow.
This is a game that I think we all thought looked pretty good when we first saw it months ago. I think it was at the last Direct.
Did anyone play the demo?
Yeah.
I think you two did. I gave it a skip.
Okay. Octopath Traveler was amazing, and this is in the same vein, and it feels great. They made improvements over Octopath, and the demo felt great. I don't know. What did you think, Cammy?
I loved it. I still have it on my Switch. I still have the demo because I'm like, I might want to hop into that again. It's one of the few Switch games where I'm like, I'm definitely getting that on release day because normally I just don't.
Oh, there you go.
Switch just kind of gets forgotten. And what I really like is that they've people who had the demo, they then sent out an email, and then you could respond, say what you liked, what you didn't like, and then they've implemented that into the main game, which more developers should do.
Yeah,
it's a great idea. Yeah, shout out there.
Well, good. Hey, March 4th, 2022.
Yeah.
One could say that should be the point of a demo and of testing something with your audience, is to learn from their feedback instead of like what Activision does where they put out a beta, test it 3 days before the game launches.
I thought wholeheartedly you were doing a segue, and I was like, where the fuck is he going with this?
I was like looking at the title, and I was thinking, I'm waiting for one of these
another
words.
point, and I was like, oh, that's right. No, that's fair. Ubisoft, after I noticed, I gave some praise to some Ubisoft games, and then I realized I haven't played a Ubisoft game I've put more than 3 hours into in years at this point. I don't think their games have held my attention past like the little demos or stuff they've put out. Because even Immortals Phoenix Rising, I was like, that's a great step in the right direction. And I never touched it again. And that was it. I never beat the game. It's just in my brain, and I was like, well, it's more kind of Breath of the Wild with more issues. And it's like, but I haven't played Breath of the Wild in a while, so I'll just play that again. You're embarrassing, Ubisoft, but give us free stuff anyway. Wait a minute, free stuff? I bet Ubisoft dreads what I just said about them because I'm such a powerful man. There's actually not a lot to say on this one. I'm just excited for Metroid Dread. It comes out on October 8th. That's like 2 weeks out. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyone else try a segue for this next one because it's got a long title?
Oh jeez.
What's your plan? Is it to play it on Switch on day one? Are you looking forward to see if they give any expansion packs, or are you just looking forward to a new game?
I think it's gonna expansion my pack penis by 64 inches.
Yes. Whoa. To put it in perspective, what they're trying to segue into for Switch Online expansion pack.
Beep that.
So yeah, they're reworking their Nintendo Switch Online platform. They are working around this title called an expansion pack. Basically, they want to bring a bunch of retro games into the fold, such as N64 games, Sega Genesis games, and a few more. I'll let Jacob run through these since he's the retro king here, and we'll let him explain what he's excited for and what he isn't.
So get this, even the name expansion pack, that's a callback to the N64, because when Donkey Kong 64 came out, the game had basically a game-breaking glitch in it, I believe, and they had to release, boxed in with the game, this little expansion, I think it was RAM pack that you pop in the top to even have the game run. So that's the little, it's a little homage to that little extra thing that I think it also worked with like Perfect Dark, mostly Rareware games that were like the best of the N64. And, you know, Rareware is not on this list quite yet, but they will be. They did like Banjo-Kazooie, they did Perfect Dark, they did Donkey Kong 64. They're awesome. Right now, the games that they have, Super Mario 64, great. Hopefully it's not that stupid remaster they did for the 3D collection.
Oh yeah.
That sucked. No one buy that, by the way. No one. It's not worth it. It would be better investment to get, I can't believe I'm saying this, a dirty, disgusting emulator, or just buying like a combo Wii, like get a Wii GameCube combo. They're super cheap right now. The games are a little more expensive, but then you get Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 with the motion controls, and you can play Mario Sunshine. It checks a lot of them off the list. But then Mario Kart 64, I'm sure that port will be pretty solid. Star Fox 64, great game. Yoshi's Story's good fun. Ocarina of Time, great fun as well. I like that one. Of course, also on top of all of this, is going to be mapped for a regular controller and the Joy-Cons, most likely. So even though they also announced an N64 controller thing that looks pretty sick, that I'll probably buy, it'd be really nice to play these games on a regular controller for a change. But don't forget also WinBack. I've never heard of that. I have no idea what that is in all my years. I've never heard of WinBack. Mario Tennis, good fun. You can play as Donkey Kong Jr. in that game. I love him. Dr. Mario 64, another good fun one. And Lilat Wars, a game I've also never heard of. I have no idea. There's two games I actually think they just made up. I think that's just, they would have been fine with.
Do you think anyone will notice?
Do you think they'll pay it? I've never heard of those.
Third-person shooter video game.
Okay.
From Omega Force Studio, 1999.
Of course. Of course. I should have known.
And Lilat Wars, I'm pretty sure I have heard of.
Mine just pops up Star Fox 64.
Star Fox.
Yeah. Is it a different Lilat? Is Lilat Wars like the Japanese port of it?
It might be.
Because the image had one game that was, the whole front was in Japanese.
Oh.
So then I had to like do a wee bit of Googling, and
it's the
someone had written up a list.
It's the European Australian equivalent, because apparently Star Fox had some trademark issues over there. So I think it's still just Star Fox, maybe with some changes in it. That checks out. I didn't know that. A little factoid there for you.
Okay.
That's pretty neat. But then, hey, moving on from the N64 onto the Sega Genesis, something I've been really into these last few months. So perfect timing. There's a great little compilation. I think it's just called like Sega Genesis Master Collection or something. It's available on Switch. It's a little weird, but it has a lot of these games that are listed here. Sonic 2, great game. Streets of Rage, great game. Echo the Dolphin, it's a game. You might like it. CastleVania Bloodlines, fucking awesome game. Contra Hard Corps, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Golden Axe. These pretty much all these games that they've listed here are like cream of the crop, at least in my opinion. I adore them. At least all of them for the most part. I'm not too into Phantasy Star and all that. I have no idea what the hell Musha is. Maybe that one just goes over my head. Maybe it's an abbreviation I'm missing.
It's an abbreviation of something.
You so have at it is what Musha stands for. But that's a lot of Shinobi is so much goddamn fun. Gunstar Heroes is really fun. Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, I've never played. The name just makes me laugh. But Contra, Castlevania Bloodlines, those are games you can't get in that compilation, to my understanding. So there is some actual value to getting this. And it was Streets of Rage 2 also, not the original Streets of Rage.
Musha is vertical scrolling shooter where you play as a flying mech.
Wow.
So
Oh, that sounds
there
familiar
you
now.
go.
Never mind.
I
Musha.
can't find like what it's short for, but in all the stuff it's like capitalized as if it is short for something. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's.
Musha.
I thought I found what it stands for, but I was wrong.
Me ultimate shoot have Applebee's. There you
It's
go.
it's like spelled as if it's
It
abbreviated.
might be
but
in Japanese, like it might stand for.
Maybe that too.
Wait, I found it. Metallic uniframe super hybrid armor.
Yep.
Oh, that's cute.
And then
Yeah.
this says in Japanese, Musha also means warrior.
Hey.
So it has like a double meaning.
Nice.
That's that Sega marketing for you right there, being smarter than any group ever put to paper. Read Console Wars, everybody. It's a great book. It's the whole reason why I started playing those Genesis games. A lot of good stuff there. A lot more variety than what you have on the N64, but the N64 stuff is pretty sought after at this time. I'm guessing a lot of for Star Fox 64, Mario 64, and Ocarina of Time alone. Hell, throw Yoshi's story in there as well. I think it's worth it. Like, no problem getting on this. But then you add
You're
all this to
saying
it.
worth it. They haven't announced the price yet.
I think
They could charge you like 50 quid a week.
if I doubt they'll do that,
Fallout
but if they
first,
do,
$100 a year.
if they do $60 a year and they keep it updated, I think that's actual good bang for your buck. If you get those games
They
with
are
it,
keeping it updated. They're adding new games all the time. They
Yeah.
have said.
the one you have right now, with the SNES and NES stuff, is a goddamn steal. It's like it's robbing them at this point. You get so many good games with some fun emulator features. They also add in like different versions of the games, so you can like get to you can have different experiences with it. They're doing a lot with it. So I would say for this package, I would pay $60 a month. I don't expect them to go that high, but that's about what I'm willing to do for it. But also more games that are being added. Banjo-Kazooie, an absolute banger, and it opens up some possibilities of some rareware stuff getting put onto the Switch. Maybe Game Pass one of these days. Who knows? Pokemon Snap. They just released a new Pokemon Snap. People fucking love that game. Majora's Mask. People fucking love that game. Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. It's Kirby. Some people like it, I guess, maybe. Mario Golf for the N64 is one of the best golf games ever. Period.
I once came over to Jacob's place one day and he was unironically playing Mario Golf just for fun by himself.
It's genuinely fantastic. The one on N64 and the one on GameCube are both great. They're great fun games. Paper Mario? Fuck, man. People love Paper Mario. I'm not one of them, but I see the merit in it. Paper Mario is great. And F-Zero X. Good God. If all those come like by Christmas or by January, and you have to pay $60 for it, Jesus, playing those games on the go. Holy crap. That's a lot of fantastic stuff. But late October is when it's coming. Controllers are coming as well. And I believe they're wireless, if I saw correctly, which is awesome.
You are correct.
Across the board, this is the highlight for me from this whole thing. It's amazing. It seems it's like they listened. It's a little bit late, I will say. I would have liked this a year ago, but they're adding all the stuff that you would ideally want. Only thing I don't see on that list that I desperately want from the N64 side is maybe some of the games that are really hard to get, which also licensing, like the Clay Fighter game that's $700 or whatever right now. But they've already got like Paper Mario is like, last I saw was like $100-something bucks. They get the Mario Party games on there. Those are like 60, 70 a pop right now if you want to play them on original hardware. It's worth it. It's worth it for people that want to see the old games or that just want to play good games in general across the board. Awesome. What do you guys think of all this? My little rambling with how much I've praised this. You think how much would you pay for a chance to play these amazing N64 games and some really great Sega Genesis games?
I think if it was like a $20 one-time fee, I'd pay it.
Yeah. I
Play
think the
them
thing
for
is
20 minutes.
it's the membership thing.
Yeah.
It's, well, how long am I going to take to play those things, and then how much are you charging me? But then these games aren't the sort of games that I like gravitate towards. I don't think this is for me.
That's fair.
So
It's
It's
definitely for me.
Jacob.
It's
yeah, I was gonna say,
definitely for me. Plus,
I
I
feel like
think
this is for a certain sort of person, and it's just not me. So I don't feel right putting like a price on it, especially like a membership price. Like
and
it's
plus,
hard. It's a lot harder
yeah,
to say how much you pay per month. But at the
Right.
same time, I can recognize that that's good for the type of person it is for.
that's right. And we'll see. I mean, they did a yearly rate. I would hope they would stick to the yearly rate thing.
We just hope so.
Because I think that's worth it. Because paying like $5 a piece for the games is like a little strange. You can also do that, but I guess the membership route works too, because then you get the Nintendo Online with it. But yeah, we'll see how much it is. If it's an expansion pack, maybe it is a one-time payment of like, because if it's $60 for something that constantly updates and it's a one-time fee, like that's fantastic. Like imagine if you got a compilation with all that stuff. That'd be awesome.
They've described it as a new membership plan, and it just
Yeah.
so happens to be called an expansion pack. So I think it will still be like not a one-time fee unless you do the whole like once a month or once a year thing.
Well, there you go. Well, we'll wait and see on that price. I'm very hopeful for it. I don't think they're gonna go too crazy with it. Then again, Bethesda tried charging $100 a month for an add-on to a $60 game. So yeah, we'll see about that. But I guess that just about brings us to the end of the Nintendo announcements that came around. Deltarune's on Switch now, also, which is something some people were worried about. But that about caps it off for Nintendo. There's really only one thing left for us to talk about today.
Well, to quickly mention, there was Splatoon 3 for people who care about Splatoon 3.
No
And there
one
was
cares
Bayonetta
about Splatoon
3.
3. No one cares.
There's
People
Bayonetta 3 as
care.
well. People who care. We're not
People
those people, but there are people who care.
And plus, those announcements too are just kind of like, well, wait for the game to come out. How hyped up can you? It's like, you never fucking know. You never. Nintendo's all about polish. Oh, we're all polish and quality, and then, you know, probably won't come out for 4 years. It's like, great, it exists. But I tell you what exists right now that you can play: Kena Bridge of Spirits, which has had some pretty positive things said about it. You two have both given it a try. I have had no time. I've barely played. Or my friend that has Pokemon Red installed on his computer, not me. I've been watching him play that, not illegally, a little bit, but I haven't had time to play Kena Bridge of Spirit. There's no way to dodge around that after I think I just incriminated myself. I've been playing Pokemon Red. I'm having a great time. But I've only had like a couple hours to do it so far this week. Busy, busy, busy. But y'all have had a chance to play some Kena. What do you think?
Go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say it sucks.
I really fucking love it. No, I love it. I'm like, I don't know Luke's opinion at all. So this is where he's going to turn around and go, I fucking hate it. But I really love it. I was saying earlier, it's like, I don't remember the last time I was like, it's kind of all I want to play. I don't remember the last time there was a video game where I was like, yeah, I just want to play this for hours, and those hours don't feel like hours because I'm having so much fun. It's so good. It's not necessarily the most original thing ever, but it's gorgeous for one. It is so beautiful. The combat's really good and challenging. The rot are freaking adorable, and every time I see them, I like burst a little bit inside because it's so fucking cute.
Please them.
Oh, this is so cute. So yeah, I think it is up there for me as one of the best games of the year.
Hey.
Yeah, really,
Good,
really,
good.
really good. Luke, what do you think? Please don't say you hate it.
No, I actually am in agreement. I think it's really good. It's one of those games that is able to kind of look like it doesn't have to try very hard to be awesome at what it's doing. That's really hard to pull off. The combat, like Cammy said, is actually pretty challenging. We did a stream of it for a few hours, and I was playing on the hardest difficulty, and it goes from like this is really simplistic and kind of boring to, oh, okay, we gotta
Dead. I'm
we gotta
dead.
focus up. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And I think a lot of it, the bow gets really interesting and complicates things with weak points on big bosses and enemies.
Yeah.
I think it has an over reliance. Like one of the little nitpicks is that because when you jump and then look with your bow and string it up, it slows time, so you can kind of, it's like focus mode in a lot of games where
Yeah.
you can really fine tune your aim and then hit your targets. And what inevitably happens is that you will just jump 50 times in a row in the course of a battle to try and land those shots. And I just think that there's a better way to do it than just like if the camera was outside looking at the battle, you just see Kina jumping up and down trying to fling arrows. So I would have liked to see like um a focus that isn't just built around jumping, and later in the game they introduce a different way of focusing and doing that. But like what Horizon had, where it was a slow recharge so you can focus, and then you've got to run around and fight melee or other ways and hip fire, and then you get your focus back, and then you use that time to target the
Lock focus.
yeah,
On the
lock focus does help. But I just mean like specifically with the um slowing of time and
Yeah.
everything that they do there. I think probably having a regeneration for that so that the player can't spam it 50 times in a row would be nice. They do sort of address it by having arrows run out, but they recharge so quickly it's not really an issue. So little things like that, but all told, I mean, I'm not done with it. As I keep going, it picks up complexity. I love that they throw so many boss fights at you. It is gorgeous. I will say playing it on PC. Are you playing on PC or PS5? PS5, okay. I will say playing on PC, it goes from like playing the game at 100 frames, and then you go into a cutscene, it drops to 30. And that is like getting slapped in the face because it goes from silky smooth to super choppy in comparison. You get used to it, but I will say the first couple hours, it was really hard going from silky smooth gameplay to these beautiful cutscenes, but it was like a throwback to 2012 when every cutscene was pre-rendered, you know? So I don't know if there's a way to tweak that. I don't know if the cutscenes actually are pre-rendered or not. I really don't know, because they constantly drop to 30 FPS. So I assume they're probably pre-rendered, because if they weren't, I don't know why they would cap the frame rate like that. But all told, I mean, it's really good. And especially considering this is like their first game, it's
Yeah.
incredible. So they deserve all the praise they're getting. And I can't wait to see what comes next.
Well, hey, and what about that
Story's
huge?
good as well.
What about that huge twist at the end too, with the story?
Where the bridge is actually a bowl.
No, there's the huge. Oh no, you probably haven't gotten there yet. Never mind.
You're setting up some joke. I know.
No,
You haven't played
Yeah.
It's just something I remember when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. I was at work, and there's a guy that was overly excited for it. I didn't know anything about Kingdom Hearts at the time, so I like researched how I would fuck with him. So I was like, oh, okay, Donald Duck is the healing character. And we were talking about it. I was just going to Mom. I was like, yeah, what do you think of this? He's like, oh, I love it. I'm so excited for it. I was like, what do you think of this? I love it. And so it's like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up that your healer dies within the first world, though. And his face lost all color.
it.
And I went, oh, I mean, no, he doesn't. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, I should probably go, man. And I left.
My God.
Can you imagine they killed Donald Duck?
They tried to
Really
kill
dramatic.
Goofy.
Gory. Oh, yeah.
Woo. That'll always be one of
That's awesome.
my favorite memories. I came clean
Man, I
later.
gotta go. I gotta go.
I gotta go, and then that was that. God, what a great time! What a great world we live in. What a great go
Okay.
play some Kena.
Yeah,
It's
go
really
play
great.
some
Yeah.
game.
Go play Kina.
Kemi, why
Yeah.
don't you tell us about the film that's being produced? We'll wrap up with the discussion of the film.
I had forgotten this existed, but
I
hit us
don't
with
want
it.
to.
Okay, I'll do it. I love the film.
I was gonna say, is it worth just saying what I titled this document? I feel like that would
Sure.
describe.
I mean, hold.
everything.
Well, you could, but the idea of a Mario movie isn't inherently stupid. The idea
The
of
fucking Mario movie.
the idea of casting.
That's what this is called. That's what the document's called, by the way. A fucking Mario movie. I'm part of a Discord server, and someone put on like the casting list, and it popped up on my phone. And I was like, fucking hell! Oh, what an idiot!
That's a good joke. Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, I was watching the direct, and I was like,
What?
Googled. I was like, they're not fucking joking.
They're serious.
not.
Yes.
They're serious. Like,
Now, what we're referring to? They announced they're making the movie, releasing next holiday season.
yeah.
And they announced the casting very proudly.
Mm.
Okay, I'll say the character's name. Cammy, you tell me who is going to be acting in that
Okay.
role. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start from the bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
So various roles. No, we'll save that. Donkey Kong.
Seth Rogen. Donkey Kong in Mario. Let's just Donkey Kong in Mario. Seth Rogen.
it's me, it's Seth Rogen.
Hey,
Hey Mario, where's my weed? Mario.
Okay, so that one, okay, maybe Donkey likes to get smoky.
I love that casting choice. I
Toad.
cannot wait to see it.
Toad, a
Keegan Michael
whimsical-
Key.
Yeah, the guy from Key and Peele.
That's the funniest one. I get some of these are like more shocking, but Keegan Michael Key as Toad is just the most generic fucking like. I love Keegan Michael Key, but that's a boring casting choice. It's gonna be embarrassing. I can already picture it.
It's an odd one. It's an odd one. I think my favorite, Bowser.
Yes. Jack Black
Jack
from
Black
YouTube.
from
The
Thumbs up.
YouTube guy. Yeah. That's a good.
Jablinski.
That's the well, I say the only good one. One of the 2 ones I would consider pretty good.
Luigi
Harley Day.
from It's Always Sunny. I don't know what to
Mhm.
think of that one.
That one could be
That
great.
could be okay.
He was fun in Pacific Rim. Charlie Day.
Yeah, like that could be okay.
Who knows? Maybe he nails
Peach.
it.
Anya Taylor-Joy, which is the other one I would say is pretty decent.
She's fucking awesome.
This one's
She's a great
this
actress.
seems like it could fit well.
Mm.
So I don't really
Mm.
have an issue with that. And then everybody's
Mm.
favorite, Mario.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Chris
Everyone's favorite Italian.
Pratt. Yeah. Chris
Ooh.
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. I think the reason people
Mm.
kind of flipped out on it is because it's so transparently just like a Hollywood move to
Yeah.
get the guy that tends to sell big box office numbers and put him in the role. Like, and that's made all the more kind of insulting when you consider the actual voice of Mario, who is alive and available, probably far cheaper than Chris
So
Pratt.
alive and available. He's in the film. Just
Yeah.
not as Mario.
He does a bunch of small cameos, apparently. And they like proudly announced this like, yes, we do have the actual Mario in the film.
Yeah.
As Mario? No.
No.
He's gonna be that tree.
Yeah.
Like,
I
that's
would
it.
love to have known what that call was like. Hi, is this Charles? Yeah, it is. I'm guessing you've heard we're making a Mario film. I have, and
Yes.
we want you to be in it.
Really?
That's amazing. Yeah. So Chris Pratt's Mario. What? Yeah, you know all the 25 years you've put into this character? We don't care. You're gonna be a cameo. 30 seconds. That all right with you?
Well, he does.
Okay, bye.
He does Wario and Waluigi too. I'm pretty sure.
He does loads.
Yeah, he does a bunch
Probably.
of voices.
I mean, the kicker, like the thing people I saw all over Twitter that people were defending Chris and like Charlie's casting. They were like, well, to be fair, Charles, in his role as Mario with all of these games and things they've done over the years, there's never been like a serious Mario story told where there's a lot of dialogue, scenes.
he's never
arching
spoken in
character
a full
motivations.
sentence.
Yeah, it's always like Mario Kart 8, and that's it. Like that's his dialogue for the entire game. So they're worried that he wouldn't have been able to carry an entire film. Like, yeah, he does a really good one-liner, but I don't know. He's a voice actor. I don't know. I mean, maybe they did audition him. Maybe he did audition and he just didn't screen test well. Like, I don't want to be presumptive and just assume that they were like, no, screw that guy because he's only a voice actor. We need an actual actor. I don't want to assume that's what they did because it is possible that they were like, hey, this guy's going to be way cheaper. Let's just test, like, screen test him, focus group some people, and compare him to like Chris Pratt. I don't know. Maybe they did that, maybe they didn't. But I think what we can all agree on is casting Chris Pratt as Mario is pretty far from the last role. Like Danny DeVito, I think would have been funnier and would have been a better fit for Mario. Than, at least they're similar in size. But Chris Pratt.
Hold on, but if you did Danny DeVito as Mario and Charlie Day as Luigi, that would just literally be Always Sunny.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great though?
That would be awesome. Well, this
You
is
guys,
the thing. This is the thing. As much as like Chris Pratt, he's voice acted before. He was in Onward.
Yes.
He was very, very good in Onward.
He was good in
He's
that.
good in the Lego movie.
He is great. He was great in the Lego Movie. We have no
Great in the
fucking
Lego
idea
Movie.
if this was actually auditioned. If this was auditioned and this is what they landed on, then it's like, okay. But like at the same time, Keegan-Michael Key and Seth Rogen in their roles are like very basic casting choices, and you can bring it down on Nintendo or on Chris Pratt or whatever. The main thing we have to remember is that the voice casting isn't even the biggest problem with this movie as a concept to begin with. The biggest problem is that it went to the cheapest, laziest, most idiotic animation studio in the last 20 years. They sent it to the guys that did Despicable Me. They sent it to the guys that did Secret Life of Pets. These lazy, cookie-cutter garbage movies.
I'm out. I actually like Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2. But I'll give you
You know what? I'll give Despicable Me a pass. Despicable Me 2 and 3, I think, are garbage. I think Secret Life of Pets are garbage. I think that movie Sing, which they also did, was garbage. It's the most cookie cutter.
More than anything, the issue with those movies weren't like the animation. They were beautiful films.
Wow! No, they were not. There is a chase scene in Despicable Me 2 where it's the same house looping over and over and over again. They are the most basic model. Like if
I want to see this.
Google it right now. The chase scene from Despicable Me 2 in the opening, it's the same house looping over and over again, and then it like ends at a dock. It's the most, and there's almost no detail to any of it. It's just, and their budgets for their movies are like, I think half or maybe even a third of what the industry standard is for budgets on animated movies. They just cut corners and make these piles of garbage that are just like pandering. Like Sing, it's a movie about like, it's like, think Zootopia by Disney, where they like had all this weird thinking through of how that world would work. Sing is just a human world, but they decided to put animals in it because people like animals in animated movies.
Sing.
And then they sing. And then Taron
Ooh.
Egerton, who's a tremendous actor and singer, is a gorilla for some reason, who sings Elton John songs. Jesus Christ. It's
They also made The Grinch.
The Grinch sucked. Oh my god.
They also made The Lorax.
Also sucked. It gave us some gave us like a
and
year or
Hop.
two of great oh god, Hop. Do you remember how pandering and terrible Hop was? It was the Easter movie.
I never watched it.
The Easter movie. They're hack frauds. I'm not afraid. They're hack frauds, plain and simple, in the animation industry. Maybe they'll get a bigger, like 90% of the budget has to go to these celebrities. Like, I know that's, you know, it's animation, of course, I'm exaggerating, but as a person who really likes animation, and I'd like to think I know a good deal about animation, they, as a studio, are incredibly lazy. And it's just when I heard it was Illumination, I was like, I lost it. I was like, I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be so plain looking. It's going to be so squishy cookie cutter, which might work for Mario. But the second you want to do something cool, then it's just like, oh, well, we probably won't do that then. Like, but think of the climax of Despicable Me, that first movie. What's the climax of that movie? They're in the air in these really...
Turns the moon.
Yeah, they shrink down an asset of the moon. Like, let's think about this from a design perspective. They shrink down an asset of the moon while flying around in these really, like, poorly sculpted ships, but it's supposed to be style. That's why they're poorly sculpted. So it's like, okay. And then they, like, hang out in the air and one of them falls. That's the climax of the movie. And then meanwhile, you have these other animated movies where it's like, what's the climax? Like, it's not even a story thing. It's just effort put in. You could do some really cool stuff and have some really interesting set pieces. They don't do that. They are not that studio. They're not like, what's the studio I'm thinking of? They're not like Laikai, where they'll go to these tremendous lengths to make these amazing set pieces and this crazy animation. They're not like Pixar, where they're constantly innovating and releasing like newsletters on new techniques they found in animation. And they're not even like DreamWorks, who as cookie cutter as DreamWorks can be. They'll still do stuff like How to Train Your Dragon, where they have these massive, interesting things that you physically could not do in live action through the power of animation. And meanwhile, Illumination is doing like, we have little yellow characters, and we have hundreds of them. It's the worst studio. As bad as this casting is,
funny sounds.
Yeah, as bad as the
It's
casting is, the studio that will be animating it is twice as bad as Chris Pratt as Mario, and we haven't even heard him as Mario yet.
No, he hasn't done the voice. Going back to the casting. There's a chef in the UK called Gino D'Acampo, and I think Gino D'Acampo should be Mario.
Ah,
I'm just gonna put it out there. But for anyone who knows Gino D'Acampo, they'll probably be thinking, now that would make a good film.
well, there you go.
You two are looking completely blank, so I'm guessing he's not made his way over.
Well, you made me think of a chef as Mario, and then I went to Gordon Ramsay as Mario.
Oh my god!
That, I think would make a good film.
I thought you made up a name at first. I thought you were just lying to us.
Gino D'Acampo, an actual Italian, believe it or not.
Ah.
Does he sound like a stereotypical Italian?
Right.
Would you like bread? Where is the lamb sauce? Pizza tastes like
really
shit.
famous clip from the UK where he's made a pasta dish and the host is like, oh, you know, if you were to add some ham into this, it would kind of be like a British carbonara. And he's like, I'll just send it to you because it's
okay.
I don't want to do it justice. But yeah, Gino D'Acampo should be
Everyone watch a clip of Gino D'Acampo tonight.
Gino D'Acampo he's
Gino
a brilliant
D'Acampo,
man.
Babidi-boopy. Okay.
Also, what the hell is the plot going to be?
Mario got to save the
That's
princess
not
or something.
important.
It doesn't matter.
We're not.
That is you. It's like you don't know what this is. Okay,
it's Illumination.
Very low on the list.
They're gonna
The
hire
princess is going to be in another castle.
the same person that wrote Click for Adam Sandler and bench warmers is going to come out of retirement and he's going to write the script for this movie. Imagine
You know, the only way I think this could be good is if they went down the vein of the B movie and they just made it as uncomfortable and strange as they possibly could and released it and was just like, what are you going to do about it? You like jazz?
You like jazz?
That's true.
Jazz.
God, I love B movie. Well, we'll leave it there though. We've been going for over an hour at this point. Thank you all for watching. Let us know what you think of all this in the comments.
Yes.
We got a little
Yeah.
ranty there for a bit.
Yeah,
We'll see how this goes. Who knows? Maybe Chris Pratt will be the best
Italian
choice.
ever.
Yeah, maybe he'll have a really great Italian accent. But I
Yeah.
can tell you this much. Seth Rogen and Keegan-Michael Key in those two roles. Though, as much as people complain about Chris Pratt, those two are the most dumbfounding to me because Seth Rogen's voice has been ruined by the smoke he takes in, and he's going to sound like Seth Rogen in the movie. So it's just going to be a big model of Donkey Kong, a shitty model of Donkey Kong too, with Seth Rogen's voice, with like the flat, stupid illumination look to it. And then Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. He's not going to put any effort in. He's not going to like voice act. It's going to be Keegan-Michael Key.
Starting to rant again. We should probably stop.
It's not a rant. I'm just saying those two aren't voice actors. Like, but the other three, or the other four even, they voice acted before. Just saying. Anyways,
And
we'll leave
Chris
it
Pratt
there.
did a good job.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for chilling with us. Thanks for having a great time with us. We love you very, very much. And we'll see you in the next episode of Press Start.
Bye, Halloween candy now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.